All right, so how would I actually go from quite literally 0K per month from the absolute start with no clients, no skills, nothing, to being able to make my very first suite? I remember it like it was yesterday, 10K per month. Okay, how would I actually make that full transition? Okay, and of course, it's gonna be a bit biased. I'm not gonna lie. I do a specific business model that works for me after trying so many things that didn't work for me. So of course it's going to be biased, but it's just my honest perspective on what I would actually personally do knowing what I do now. Maybe this can help a few guys out who are just from the start. Maybe you're at 5K per month, maybe at 0K per month, whatever it is. Maybe it can point you in the right direction. That's the whole goal of this video, to maybe help a few guys out who are in that exact scenario. Maybe it can give you the right direction on what industries to start on, what exactly to do, what to focus on, whatever. Okay, so that's the whole goal of this video. Now, I want to start by saying that a lot of people overcomplicate business in of itself, choosing a business, what to do, etc. And a lot of people fail at staying consistent with a lot of things. Okay, this is the disclaimer, is that if you're this type of person, you're going to have to change your attitude towards business. Okay, it's not some get rich quick thing. Okay, maybe it seems like it online, whatever, but you have to realize that online business is extremely difficult. It's tiring. Not a lot of people succeed. You have to keep that in mind when you start, because that's when it gets you allowed to continue pushing forward. Because if you think, if I don't succeed in 1 month, I'm going to stop, then you're never going to get anywhere. Okay, and this is one of the big mindsets I had. Okay, and this is exactly why I was able to now make anywhere from 20-30K per month and actually get my business running. Okay, is because when I started, I knew that it wasn't going to take just a few days or just a few months to be able to get clients, to get the results I want. I know that was going to take a lot of time, but I was telling to myself, of course it's going to take a lot of time, but I just have to stick with it and never quit and still be consistent and show up every single day. That's exactly what you have to do. So that's the mindset part, because a lot of people will skip out on that, but it is still important to have the right mindset. Okay, it's not about the specific new AI agency or the new model, whatever. It's by the mindset you have currently on business that's going to allow you to get to 20K, 30K per month. The only reason I was able to get there isn't because of the business model I do, it's because of how I think first. Then the business model followed. Of course, the business model does play a big role. I'm not gonna lie, but it is the mindset you have at the start. So that's the number one thing that's super important to start. So what you have to do is, the reason someone gets paid in online business is simply because they have the skill. They have actively someone that is looking for that specific skill. Okay, whether you, I don't know, offer a specific service or whether you do whatever, you have a skill, okay, and someone is going to pay for that skill. So stop looking at online business as some kind of middleman where you're not actually providing any help and you're just scamming some. That's not how you should look at it. You should look at it as that, how can I get as much knowledge as possible, and as much skill as possible to be able to offer to the marketplace. Okay, so start thinking business as not the actual business, but how you can actually provide value to others. Because the second you're going to be able to provide a lot of value to others, that's the second you're going to get paid. It's as simple as that. The more I provide value, the more I can help someone, for example, make money, the more I'm going to get paid. The more I'm going to help someone with a huge problem they have, whether it's related to family, whether it's related to the business, whether it's related to whatever it is, their time that they have, the more they're going to pay me. Okay, so stop going these cheap routes where you're going to be able to make some few bucks off these products or whatever that doesn't actually help anyone, because that in the long run is never going to pay you. Okay, the reason people come to me and they say, hey Adam, I need your help, yes Adam, I want to pay you a lot of money, is simply the fact because they know I can help a problem for them, and they know I can help them get a specific result or desired outcome that they want. That's why they pay me a lot of money. That's why I'm able to make 20-30K per month. So that's the first thing you have to do. Not only the mindset side of things, but you also have to realize that you have to increase your value. That's how you're going to be able to make a lot of money, okay? And it starts from your skills. If you learn any kind of skills, like specifically anything that's online. Like I'm going to give you examples of skills, and maybe you know already about these skills, but these are good skills to have. Whether it's related to sales, whether it's related to marketing, whether it's related to content, these are all things that actively people are looking to get better at. They're looking to get help on, stuff like that. So if you can position yourself as someone who has a skill in these kind of things I've just talked about, or different kind of, like I just give you some few examples, but it could be a bunch of different things, okay? Could be how to do graphic design, could be how to run ads, it could be how to make websites. That's a skills. Those are all actual tangible skills. Now, whether you do that as a freelancer, do that as an agency, you're going to decide that and you're going to see as you go, but start becoming very good at something. And this is something interesting because you can actually decide what you want to be good at based on your interests. I'll give you an example. Let's say I love websites, I love how they look, whatever. Then I can spend a lot of time working on websites, becoming better, watching courses, getting some coaching, whatever it is. So I make sure that I'm the best guy who creates these new websites. Okay. So first thing first, think about a skill that you would actually, based off your interest, actually be good at. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure it's a high in-demand skill. Okay. Don't pick something that nobody wants. Pick that skill and become very, very, very good at it. Now, with the bias point of view, if I had to specifically start a skill or become very good at something, I would learn everything that has to do with selling services online. What I mean by that, obviously you guys know about the courses and coaching space. That's personally the industry I'm in. The reason it's such a good industry is because there's multiple reasons, okay? High profit margins, everyone makes money with them, everyone posts content every day about it, etc. So if you can get very, very good at that, which is my recommendation, exactly what I would do, how to learn sales, how to learn content, how to learn specifically funnels, how to learn how to be able to sell it, how to package someone's expertise into something and sell it. Those are all things that are super, super important. Copywriting is a good one, how to script stuff, etc. Okay, so these types of skills that are related to this specific niche is personally what I would go in, because I know how much money there is to be made and how much people are actively looking for people just like you that would learn the skill to be able to pay them a lot of money. Okay. Now, once you become very good specifically at a skill, now we've established you can determine the skill, but if you want to go with the industry that I would recommend, which is again what I would recommend and what I made my money in after trying so many things and trying to become skillful at other things, this is the best skill that paid me the most amount of money. So you can decide, but that's my biased point of view maybe. You have to pick a profitable market, okay? Selling your services is going to have to be someone, okay? So you have to determine who are you going to sell to, okay? Now there's multiple things. If you go and pitch someone and offer your services to someone who has money, that's obviously going to be easier because they're going to be able to pay you a lot of money and they don't mind the fact to pay you a lot of money because you can help them, okay? Attracting poor people, attracting poor, let's say, business owners, attracting poor people who can actually use your skill for what it's for is never going to work. So you have to work with people who are established, who have some kind of money, who are making some good money, so they don't see your investment, because the problem with poor people is that oftentimes they see the investment in working with you, whether it's getting some copywriting, whatever, as a huge expense. They're not seeing it as an investment. They're going to be able to make more. Smart people, business people who make money, that's exactly what they see. They see that you can actually help them make more money. That's why they're going to be able to pay you. That's the only reason. Okay, so let's say for my example, because obviously we're talking about me and how I would personally get the back to 10K per month. Let's say I learn sales, let's say I learn content, whatever. I would go to people who are actively looking for that. Let's say I learned sales, then I would go to someone who is a coach, who is someone who's a course seller, whatever, who's offering a service online, and help them with their sales as a sales rep, for example. Okay. Now, of course, I think you already know about that, but what I would do personally is I would learn the sales, I would learn the content, I would learn the marketing, I would learn how to set up an Instagram profile correctly, I would know how to convert people in, how to have a strong audience, how to build a YouTube channel, all those skills together, and I would go to someone who's already online, who has some kind of expertise that could sell coaching, could sell courses, because obviously we established that this is the best industry to get in. But if you go to someone who has thousands of followers, it's going to be hard to get in contact with them. And a lot of people are trying to do so already. So what you want to do is go to people who have the expertise, who have the knowledge, everything, but they aren't necessarily doing anything with it. And that's where you're going to bring all the skill set that they're looking for, because nobody's outreached to them. They don't know how to actually package their knowledge or skill into something they can sell. They obviously want to make more money. So if you can bring that opportunity to them with all the skills that you have, that you learn, and again, don't spend like 2 days learning it, like spend some actual time learning everything, so you have something to show for when you go to these people, okay? You want to go to these people which you can find on a bunch of platforms, okay? That's personally how I would do, and that's what I do currently, just to give you an example, and actually help them out, okay? You can tell them they can make a lot of money with your skills, because obviously you learn how to actually transform their skill, their knowledge that they have, into something that can sell, and obviously they're going to want to pay you money because they can make money. That's together. That goes together. You're never going to pay a lot of money if it's not going to bring you more money, okay? And that directly bring you more money. Okay, having someone doing graphic design for someone, whatever, an example, you bring a skill, it's graphic design. It's going to maybe make their money indirectly, but not directly. Okay, what you want is something that makes someone money directly. Building something that they can sell from their knowledge, from their skill, whatever, is something they're going to be able to make money directly. Hey, I know this person in X niche, which is in also your niche, that makes this much amount of money, 30K per month as an example, 30K per month with selling their services online. With my skills, with all my knowledge that I know, I can help you out do the exact same. Look how much value that is for that person. That's why they're going to be able to pay you so much money. That's how I personally make a lot of money and sign all these clients and have people pay me a lot of money, because I can turn their skill, their knowledge, which is worth something in itself, and make them a lot of money. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. Go to that, and for the niche, go to people who are experts, who are very, very good at what they do. They're skillful, exactly. That have some kind of presence. Now, I'm not saying have thousands of followers, 10K, 20K, 30K followers. That's good if you can get those kind of people. But even people who have 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, just that you can showcase and you can see exactly that they're skillful. Go to them and offer your skill set on being able to transform whatever they know into something they can directly sell, so they see the ROI. And that essentially becomes your offer, and that's the offer I currently have. Okay, you have to build an offer around it. Okay, in this case, what you do, and you have to hone down on exactly who you want to work with. This is going to depend. Okay, there's people who are in their coaching, in their courses, actually helping people with making money. So everything has to do with wealth. Okay, there's something that has to do with health as well, fitness, how to eat better, how to train, how to whatever. A lot of people are actively looking for this. There's all that has to do with the passion niches. Okay, let's say you want to learn piano, you want to learn how to paint. These are all actively things that people are looking on. And also, how can I forget, relationships as well. Okay, far too many people, it's a big pain point for them. There's a lot of problems. So if you can hone down these 4 types of people who are very, very skillful, that's who you should position yourself. Okay, now it's up to you to determine exactly who you want to help. And that's essentially what's going to build that simple offer for you. Okay, because it's important when you start offering your services, because obviously, like we said, you have the skill. Now you have to actually just get the clients in of itself. You have to have an offer. You have to be clear on exactly what you do, who you help, how you help them, etc., and what kind of results can you even get to them. Okay, so that's your job to do. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, because you have to determine that by yourself. You have to think about yourself in itself. Like, are you good at specifically something, or do you fit with more type of people? That's exactly what you have to figure out. Okay, let's say, I'll give you an example. You want to help people who are, I don't know, nutritionist. Okay, well, you're going to have to make your full persona, your full business, about helping nutritionists specifically. Okay, so you want to learn everything about them. You want to learn what's their pain points, what their problems exactly. So when you actually pitch someone directly who is a nutritionist, who isn't making the money they should, who wants to be able to sell services online, you can specifically speak to them. And that's how you're going to be able to get clarity on exactly what you do, whatever. And it's going to help you sell more in of itself. So super important, the actual offer that you're going to be building, and who exactly are you going to be helping. Then super easy, how do you actually go about signing these clients? Okay, we already established that you have to find these people, obviously through social media, whatever. My biggest tip for that is, obviously it's a numbers game, especially at the start. You're at 0K per month, okay? Stop having an ego and being like, no, I'm too tired. Bro, you have nothing to lose. You have to go all out. So go all out in the outreaches, contact and get in reach with as many people as possible, okay? And what I want you to do is to actually build conversations and have connections, okay? You're not this guy who just wants to grab money from people and just pitch them exactly, because people can sense that from you, okay? So you have to be the type of guy who's actually genuinely interested in the actual people you're working for, okay? Get to learn more about their problems. Even if you're outreaching to someone, don't even pitch your services or whatever. Just talk to them about what their pain points is, so you can have a better understanding. That way, when you do outreach to the next one, you have a high likelihood of them signing and becoming a client and working with you, because you understand them, okay? So that's super important. Okay, so how I would say to get clients is just to actually build connections. If you want to start posting content about your knowledge and your offer in itself, that's just all super good idea, because people can see from your Instagram, from whatever accounts you have, that you're knowledgeable and that you understand these people, okay? People buy from people people that they understand their problem, their issues. Okay, so that's exactly what you have to become. Now, how to actually get those clients, there's, if you want the more specific way on how to actually be able to sign them, I've made videos on it on the past. You want to go check that out on my channel, but to give you a brief summary, you have to give them a lot upfront for them to even trust you. Okay, the fact is, when you're at 0K per month, is that you don't have many testimonials. You don't have to, by the way, to sign clients. You don't have testimonials. You're not very credible in the space. You're just a random guy just DMing this account and getting a DM, okay? It's like you. If you're getting a random DM, you'll be like, why is this guy DMing me? What does he want? What does he want to sell me? Whatever, okay? So to put yourself in that shoe, so you have to give a lot of value up front. I'll give you a perfect example. When I get a DM personally on my account, the only ones they're going to reply to is people who give me value up front. Whether it's a Loom video, whether it's a document, it's a script, whatever, because I know these people are serious, okay? And they know they can actually do their actual work, okay? So that's my biggest tip, is that when you're outreaching these people, make sure you're giving it a lot of value up front. What I typically recommend is a video, okay? So a video of you, presentation-wise, that explain exactly who you are, how you can help them, and make the video about them specifically on exactly their account, similar accounts in their niche that are making a bunch of money, how they can make a lot of money, what exactly they should do, how can they formulate it, how would it work for them. Just paint the picture for them ideally, exactly what it would look like. They're gonna be able to see it from their own eyes, and because they want that picture, they're gonna have to go with you because they have no other option. That's why another reason, by the way, this model's so good, and why would I use it to go back 10K a month, because that's what allowed me to get my first 10K a month, okay? So that's really what you do. And again, because in this model, it's biased of course, but because in this model, you're basically the only one who's outreaching to these people. Okay, think about a nutritionist who has 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. How many people you think have outreached to that person about packaging their expertise and their skill and selling it online? Zero is the answer, especially if someone has 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 followers. Maybe up to 10K, 20K, it's a different story. Maybe, not even, up to 50K for sure. But bro, if that person has 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, 100% is their first DM, okay? And you're gonna bring that skill set and you're gonna tell that person that they can make a bunch of money, they're for sure at least gonna hear you out. That's even the problem, because you're going to these accounts, these local businesses that are always getting pitched. If you go to someone who's never getting pitched, they're at least going to hear you out. And if you do a very good job of showcasing the value, showcasing that you understand their problems, showcasing that you can help them make a lot of money, and you have a clear profile and a clear offer on exactly what you do, and you help that specific type of people, they're going to sign, they're going to make you a bunch of money. They're going to pay you, a bunch of money in itself, okay? So that's what you have to keep in mind. To get clients, you have to actually have good conversations and showcase value up front so that they can even hear you out. And when they actually see the whole process, they're going to be interested. They're even going to want to jump on a call and sign with you and pay you money. So just that alone is going to be able to get you to at least 5K per month, okay? You're going to sign a few clients here and there, so you're going to get some revenue in. Now, how do you actually go from 5K a month or getting a few clients to be able to make consistent 10 to 15K months, okay? Because that's the goal at the end of the day. What you're going to have to do undeniably, and this is going to completely transform your business, is to really get good results, okay? I can't stress enough how getting results for your clients is super important, okay? Because you've spent time with the skills, because you know what you're doing, you're exactly targeting, you know, understand their pain points and whatever, you have to deliver good results, okay? And that's just simply what it is simply applying the skills that you have and applying into, in this specific case, their account or their client, okay? And when you do that and you did that correctly, you follow up with your clients, you show them exactly what to do, you're helping them, you can do things done for you, you can do things done with you. There's a lot of ways to, to structure it in of itself. But that's what you want to focus on. You want to focus on giving them the actual absolutely best results. If you have to fucking spend 80 hours a week on your first client to give them good results, do that. Push them, okay, to be able to get the maximum amount of results, because that's going to help you so much. The second you get good results, what you exactly have to do is showcase it. Whether it's on your profile, whether it's through other clients, other communication of clients, outreaches, whatever, showcase that case study. That's the biggest leverage you can pull. You can have the best DM outreach. If you have absolutely no testimonials or whatever, it's going to be harder. But the second you have one good case study and you say, hey, I've helped this nutritionist do this, that nutritionist is going to be super impressed and want to work with you even 100 times more, okay? So that's what you have to do, and that's what's gonna allow you to get to that 10K a month. If you have that result testimonial, every outreach after that you're going to do is gonna be so much easier, and it's just a snowball effect. You're gonna get a bunch of clients, you're going to be able to get a bunch of testimonials, case study, build out your offer better, etc., and those clients are just gonna straight come in. And maybe I'm inventing myself, but once you get to that kind of regard, what you're then going to do is just systematize the business. Whether it's through the outreaches, you want to go to VAs that can do the outreaches to you and specifically target really good nutritionists so you can focus on the clients, whether it's hiring people to help you with the actual delivery of the clients, whether it's whatever it is, okay? There's multiple systems you can put in place, and I know it's a bit far to talk about these things because we're just starting at 0K per month, but it's still important to think ahead. Okay, so you have all these systems that if you actually want to learn about the systems, you can just DM me, whatever. I'll be able to help you out with that if you get to that. And I know a lot of you will go to that because if you watch this video to this end of, that's not the end, but to this point of this video, it means you're serious, so that's perfect. So that's basically what it is. And I know this was kind of biased because this is exactly what I do, but again, you wanted to know exactly how I would personally do it. To go from 0 to making 10K, that's exactly what I would do. Okay, so that's exactly how I would start from scratch and get to that desired revenue that I would want, that sweet 10K per month, like I said. Okay, so if you have any questions specifically on anything that I talked about in this video, how to be able to get started, how to get to your first client, your first 10K a month, whatever it is, my DMs are open. Okay, so you can just, there's gonna be a link here on my Instagram. Just follow me and DM me specifically any questions on how to start, and I'll be able to maybe showcase you or guide you to the right asset in that regard. Like whether it's a YouTube video on how to sign clients, how to deliver for them, whatever it is, I'm gonna be able to showcase you and help you that. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.